What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today I'm going to be making a slightly different video from usual. I'm going to be giving you guys a market rundown, a complete market rundown, everything that's happening in the stock market today, October 14th, 2021, and I'm going to try to get this video out to you guys before lunch. So let's get into the video right now. You can see the first thing that we're going to talk about is stocks in general have been doing very well today, right? The stock market is up and they're rising on bank earnings. Bank earnings have topped expectations and jobless claims have set pandemic era lows. Now let's take a look at that. First of all, you can see the S&P has just been soaring upwards over after hours and pre-market. We've also made relatively high highs today of $440. If you look over the past 30 days, you can see that we have been trending down, and this might be a rebound, right? We might actually be moving up and recovering these previous highs that we were once at $450. We'll have to see what happens with it. This is very bullish to see ourselves jumping up this much during after hours and pre-market. We'll have to keep an eye on that, though. Now, the sectors in the stock market, pretty much everything is green, right? Technology is green, communication services are green, consumer cyclicals, consumer defense, healthcare, financial, and financial actually earlier today when I was looking at this was the least green of all, which was very interesting because one of the reasons that Wall Street is touting the stock market today is because of all the good bank earnings. So I would have actually expected the financial sector to be doing much better than they are. However, Wells Fargo is actually down a bit today, which is strange. If you look at Wells Fargo, you can see that they are down somewhat massively on the day. They dropped a ton during the first couple of minutes of market open. However, they are recovering somewhat strongly, and this is actually on an earnings win, right? They were expected to earn about $1.03 per share. They earned $1.17 per share. So not quite sure why this one dropped, but it is recovering. Probably just some traders altering their positions. Now, as for the other side of why the market is rising, the U.S. initial jobless claims, you can see that they are decreasing, right? If you look at this chart, this is a chart since the pandemic began. You can see there was a massive spike up in jobless claims, and that has just been going down and down and down, and will soon get down to pre-pandemic levels, which were relatively steady for years and years until this pandemic really spiked up the jobless numbers. Now, we were forecast today to have 319,000 jobless claims for this week. And instead, we actually got 293,000. I know that still sounds like a lot, but it's relatively low compared to where we have been over the past couple of months and years. Ever since the pandemic really set in, jobless claims have been through the roof. So people have been very excited to see this relatively low jobless claim, right? Record for the pandemic, right? Ever since the pandemic started, this is the lowest that we've gotten. So very impressive for jobless claims. Now, crude oil inventories. This is about to be released at 11 o'clock today, and this will be very important to keep an eye on because crude oil prices have been going up. It's a great indicator of inflation. And unfortunately, crude oil prices, if you look at this chart, have just been rising and rising and rising over the past year, basically doubling, right? They were down around $40. Now they're up around $80. And that's why a lot of you have seen much more expensive prices at the gas station. So we're going to have to wait until 11. That's in 22 minutes. I won't be keeping the video that long, but at 11, you guys may want to look at the crude oil forecast, right? The crude oil inventories. This is basically measuring how much crude oil U.S. firms are holding in their stockpiles. We'll want to see a change that is hopefully a positive number as opposed to a negative, right? We don't want to see, a lot of decrease in those stockpiles because that means a lot of crude oil is being used and there's more demand for it and the price is likely going to go up. We want to see a decrease in the price and thus an increase in the stockpile. So we're looking for a big positive number for this. Forecast is 0.7 million barrels increase. So that is good. We're hopefully going to see that increase. We'll just have to wait until 11 to see that. Now, the U.S. Producer Price Index, the PPI, month over month, this is basically measuring the change in consumer price goods sold by manufacturers. It's a leading indicator of consumer price inflation, which I know a lot of you guys care about because this is what you're going to be paying when you buy products at stores like Walmart and Target. Basically, anything that you're purchasing that people have produced in the United States. This doesn't necessarily track food so much, but Producer Price Index has been relatively high ever since the pandemic started. We've just been, shooting up, especially over the past couple of months. If you look at these past couple of months, we've not been doing very well. Now, the expectation was for 0.6% increase, and we actually got a 0.5% increase, which is relatively good. It's not as much as what was expected, so that's nice that prices won't be rising as much as, they were forecast to. However, this is still an increase, and it's an increase, I believe, of a 6.8% year over year increase if you actually do the math for it. So, still relatively high, right? Year over year inflation that we're experiencing. Now, for all of you crypto lovers out there, we have the Bitcoin price chart. And before I show you guys that, I will just show you all the top trending cryptocurrencies, right? By market cap, right? Bitcoin is obviously number one at just over $1 trillion market cap. Second is Ethereum, then Binance Coin. And this was surprising to me. I have not been keeping up with cryptocurrency as much as I should have, but Binance Coin is the number 3 cryptocurrency by market cap with a $79 billion market cap. Then number 4 is Cardano, another popular one. And then finally, number 5 is Tether with a $68 billion market cap. Now, Tether, of course, its price is always tethered to a dollar, hence the name. It makes me wonder why people even buy it. But Bitcoin still number 1. You can see that Bitcoin is moving up, right? Expectations for Bitcoin typically, right? The price for Bitcoin typically moves up when expectations for inflation are elevated, right? A lot of people who believe in Bitcoin believe in it because they think that we're going to see a lot of inflation. As you can see, over the past year, as inflation has become more and more of a threat to people, Bitcoin has moved up massively. Right now, we're actually nearing the all-time highs that Bitcoin has experienced of around $60,000, right? We're at $57,000 right now, and we're getting very close to these all-time highs that Bitcoin has experienced. The all-time high that it ever got to was $63,000 per coin. So we're only about $6,000 off from that. We're going to have to keep a close eye on this and see if we end up shooting through that level or if we meet fierce resistance and get shot down. That's going to be a very fierce level to deal with. 63,000 is probably going to be a point when a lot of traders are starting to either take or break their positions in Bitcoin. And that's going to either make or break the price of Bitcoin over the short term, right? Over the long term, as long as inflation expectations continue moving up, it's likely that Bitcoin will continue moving up in price. And especially, as more and more Bitcoins get mined and it gets more and more difficult to mine them, I expect the price of Bitcoin will rise with that as well over the long term. However, it will be interesting to keep an eye on what happens with these short-term trading patterns as we near these all-time highs. So, the top trending stocks on Reddit are the S&P 500. Of course, when you see a day when the S&P is up over 1%, it's very likely, especially when it's just been moving up in a straight line like this, that it's going to be one of the top trending stocks on Reddit. It's a very popular one for options traders because there's so much options liquidity. And obviously, it is the number 1 trending stock right now. SPY, that is. The number 2 trending stock is Progenity, PROG. This is a play that a lot of people have gotten into over the past couple of weeks. And if you actually look back over the past 30 days, you can see it has risen somewhat massively, right? We saw a massive spike in price before it got dumped off of on the news that there was going to be a direct stock offering and that more shares were getting added in. However, it has rebounded since and has since made new highs. Now we're going to see today we're up about 7%. We're going to see if we can continue this upwards trend that we've been on or if we're going to start faltering. But this is a, trading idea, right? For a lot of people, they're interested in the top stocks. This is obviously a volatile one. If you're a trader, it might be one to look into. Now, the number 3 stock is GameStop. Obviously, this is a popular one, has been for a long time. It always tends to stick around the top of Reddit and Wall Street Bets forums, so not a surprise to see that there. And number 4 is Smile Direct Club. Now, this is one that people have called the son of all short squeezes. People are trying to turn this into the next GME or AMC. It's SDC, so we'll see what happens with it. It'll be very interesting to see. It hasn't had as incredible price action as a lot of the other stocks that we've talked about on this channel. If you look back over the past year, you can see it has been trending down. A lot of people are hoping that this will pump up and make new all-time highs. We're going to have to keep a close eye on it. We're not going to delve too deep into any of these in this video. This is just giving you guys a market overview. Now, the next stock, the top trending stock, the most active one on StockTwits is Ocugen, OCGN. You can see this stock has been performing rather well lately, right? We just recently broke out of the $7 to $9 range that we've been trading in for the past couple of months, and it will be very interesting to see if we can continue this massive run-up. It is, I will say, a good sign that we have just broken out of these lately the all-time highs of the stock, right, of around $9.35. That's the highest we've been able to get over the past couple of months, and we have just recently broken out of that. So it is a potentially promising momentum play to get in on. Not financial advice. We're just looking at these to give you guys an overview of the most active stocks, the most talked about stocks, and stocks that are currently moving up. But it's not a guarantee that it will continue to move up in price. So that's what I have for you guys on the market. We've gotten this done in under 10 minutes. So if you've appreciated that, then feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you guys can be notified every day when I make a market overview video. And other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.